How you guys doing? Today we're going to get our tin foil hats out because we are going to be talking about the two brand new Marshal marksmen on their way. And I do believe I've got a little bit more of an insight on what I hope to potentially see in this Napoleon that's on his way. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can check out my video where I do discuss the brand new news, including the Napoleon and the Henry V login event, which unlocks you basically a brand new hero either way. If you spend, you are going to get access to Napoleon, just to be completely transparent with you guys. We don't know if Napoleon's going to be obtainable any other way yet until we see more information. But the big thing that many people are wondering is, are these heroes going to have the same skills in game? And if they are, how are they going to work? And if you don't know what we're talking about, don't worry, because I'm going to showcase it for you guys, especially if you're brand new to Age of Empires Mobile. So smash a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel that little bit extra, check out my link down in the description below for the Eneba. Any Apex or Empire coins you top up your account on will help the channel directly. So with that, I want to start the video in an unlikely scenario and an unlikely space, you're probably guessing. And it's not going to be to do with Napoleon or actually Henry here. It's actually going to be to do with one hero, or one hero in particular, and it's Saladin. Because the thing is, with Saladin, he is the other martial archer in the lineup. And one thing with this hero, you'll notice there is a maybe common theme on the skills that they're going to be running with this hero, which I do believe when we go into the other heroes in games, especially the Henry and then the Napoleon and Theorycrafting, we're going to learn a lot more. Because the thing is, with his skills, he is more passive based as well as a secondary strike based hero. So his main skill, Fear of the Sands, is a passive, and a lot of people run Further, which is again a passive based skill, which just generates a ton of rage passively, while your secondary strike skill, Roar of Victory, is just doing some damage, but more importantly, again, finishing off the rage job, which means you honestly do not need any other hero generating rage. But this type of playstyle, you notice, is more secondary strike based, right? And if we go out of Saladin now and we check out the other heroes in game, aka the Henry as well as the Napoleon, what you will start to see is there's a couple of contradictions and a couple of issues in game with what we see and what we're able to play with, which is going to be super interesting again for many people. The way you can check this out is pretty simple. Go into your main game, go to your expedition area, and hopefully, if you've been pushing your exploration into your military exercise stage, you should be 50 out of 50. You can see how low I was. I was T5 doing it with these amount of troops. My Mulan was the one who actually carried me the most, even though I'm hiding at the minute, right? But when you get to stage 50, many people know you are able to see on the boss showdown, Henry V here, Alexander the Great, and this mysterious hero, which we're going to go into later on. This is a martial archer march, which is very important, and it's using all three heroes, which we expect to see in the lineup, because through the dev updates, we've seen the Marshal marksman lineup, which is Napoleon, Saladin, Henry. That's what they are recommending, which is exactly what this is. However, there's some issues we have. So the first thing is just to be transparent. So obviously we've got the tinfoil hats on, but we've got to be fair. Alexander the Great is in game. We've got the model for this hero. However, we don't know what his skills is, and we don't know if he's actually going to be a martial, infantry, and pikeman. We don't know, because the thing is, his main skill is turn-based skill. Every 6 seconds recovers your units and so on. And you guys should be able to realize this is the one and only QSH. It is Qishu Huang's skill, right? As we know, the brand new Marshal MGE hero for pikemen that's come alongside Otto, right? So we know this could be completely wrong what we're about to see, because when we go into Henry, there's a couple of issues that we do see in game. And the thing is, I've been trying to find more information about this hero, even researching the Return to Empire Chinese game 3 years ago, and the only thing I can see from all the information on there is this icon is the same. Apart from that, nothing else is concrete. And when you go into Henry V's kit, especially in military exercise, you guys can do this alongside me right now. If you're playing this maybe on your tablet or on your phone, you may be at a computer, I don't know, you may be able to split screen it and check this out at the same time. We've got an active base skill here, which is a little bit of an issue, because the thing is, when we look at the other skills, we've got another active base issue, as well as a second strike skill, which is Spirited Pursuit. This build looks pretty cool, the fact that we've got second strike skills and active skills, I'll be honest with you. And before we dive into there, the one issue we have is when you go on the more skills, especially when we check out Spirited Pursuit, because it's not there in game. So in game, these are the current skills on screen that you're actually able to see, which is Boulder Trap, Fervor, War Tactic, Configuration, Ultimate Strategy, and Strategy Master's Gift. Thing is, this does make a lot of sense because, as we know, our hero is supposed to be strategy based from the signature skill that we've got in game. But one thing you'll notice, there's no Spirited Pursuit, and this is a lot, again, makes more sense because these skills are all active, right? They're all basically active based skills that work alongside you, as well as Fervor, as you guys know, the passive based skill if we want to run that. But again, all active based skills on Henry. And this is super important when you think about it, because when we come back out of this, these skills, or this skill, is definitely wrong in his repertoire. So when we check out his main active skill, we've got to be under the assumption, is this right? Because if it is, it's a pretty OP skill with what he's got, and let me explain why. Because it's a 35% active base skill. So obviously, as active base skills go, chance to be activated each time the hero takes an action. So when it's Henry's turn, if he takes an action like hitting you or doing something on his turn, he has a chance of activating his skills. If they trigger, as you'll see, you're doing 250% damage. You're increasing your rage by 10 per second, which is great, because obviously that helps that Saladin a little bit indirectly from your skills. But more importantly, when the commander deals their commander skill for the first time, your troops' damage taken reduced by 8%, which is pretty good because depending on the commander skill of Napoleon that we get, this could be a massive burst amount of damage, which allowed you to tank up from this reduction, which is going to be increasing from your strategy bonus, which is going to be, again, pivotal if this is his right skills. Because then, if we go into his more skills now, just think, we have a 35% activation chance, and with Strategy's Master's Gift, we can actually enhance that, right, of 15%. So now we've got 50% chance, 1 in 2, guys, of increasing our damage and firing off our skill. And this is just a passive base effect that's always rocking right now, which is going to be really good because it means super high uptime on our skill, which is more damage, more rage, more potentially damage reduction if you go into more combats one after another, right? Then the issue I have with him is there's not many fun skills that there is. And if there is a dev watching this, I hope to God before it comes out, you find something really fun. Because we only have War Tactic, Ultimate Strategy, as well as Configuration as our other options. I don't think you need further. We've already got enough rage generation through Saladin, and he's doing it himself in the signature skill, going off 50% of the time. So we don't need that, right? So we could go for more damage and recovery, or we could go for a big bang of damage. But again, I'm not feeling it. I don't think these are two insane choices. And the thing is, configuration, again, I really dislike. I hope Henry has his own skill that you can have. I don't know if it's some sort of crown ability, you know, something fun that you could put on just to make him a little bit more unique than the skills that we have, because I don't know what else I'd go for. I'm going to be honest. War Tactic is the easy choice. It just means we have super high recovery. Nothing really paying off from that recovery, but we do have a ton of recovery from that, right? So that's Henry. That's Henry V's skills. And just remember, as I said to you guys before, we're able to unlock Henry through this event. So this is going to come, I believe, the October 18th, if I remember correctly. You can check out the video earlier on, and it will be in the description down below too if you want to check it out as well. On the dates properly, log in 4 days, and we get Henry, right? So we'll get to see what he is capable of in game, because you can't access him any other way at the moment, right? So that leaves us with Napoleon. And this is where things are going to get very interesting, because with Napoleon, there's two routes we can go with, right? We could argue this hero is going to be maybe a nerfed version of Hasmafut here, right? This Egyptian absolute monster, as we would name, because her commander skill is kind of crazy. I'm going to be honest. It is kind of nuts, especially when you look at the things. And for the first time, we get I've never seen this before. Commander as an I've never seen that, right? So this might be the first time actually seeing a hero like this, which is kind of nuts. And the thing is, when we look at her commander skill, it says you deal strategy damage up to 3 enemy troops, right? Damage is 308%, and then recovers your units that heal 7.4% of that skill damage. So as you guys should be able to read that, every time you fire this skill, you're going to deal 3 instances of damage, 308%, bang, 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 right? And you're going to recover a portion of that damage. I'll be honest, does that sound like someone you know who's come out very recently and argued to be one of the best marchers in the entire game right now? I'm just saying, right? But what's even cool about this hero is when the total strategy attributes of all your heroes is higher than the enemy's heroes, Dragon Incarnation will deal an extra strike of damage. Every 1 point of strategy advantage increase the damage rate of an extra damage by 2%, up to 200%. So as you can gather, if you're a Kraken in theory, you got a max stats, you are dealing 200% most likely damage over a person and getting an extra instance of damage. And you are healing most likely all of that damage, I believe, that's going to be coming through, which is just kind of bonkers on a 350 rage, which Saladin and Henry could be rage generating up themselves. So you can see this is the type of payoff technically we would want Napoleon to have. I'll be honest, this is the type of skill we would want Napoleon's cannons to hit. Like, they hit hard, they hit even harder, and they keep barraging you down. It could make sense, right? And a lot of people are leaning on this theory, which I kind of agree with, because the thing is, Alexander the Great is in here. He's just been reused as QSH. It makes a lot more sense that they might have done the same thing with this hero, but what I could imagine is they might have toned down these numbers. Maybe it's like 250% with a 5% of the heal because of how much you're gaining down here, for example. Who knows? I would like to hear your thoughts, though, on this part so far. Moving on, though, to the other kind of skills for her, just to make sure you guys have a full idea what she does. She is an active-based hero too, right? She's active-based, deals strategy damage to the enemy troop, and you reduce the might, strategy, and armor of all of the enemy heroes by 42. So you got to think that's 42 times 3, which is what, 126 if I'm not mistaken, right? Off the top of my head. So you've got a massive differential there just from this skill. Imagine you've got the ring of the bear on her. No, the ring of the lion on her, increasing all of her stats even more. You got ring of the crow, stealing stats now on top with just 2 epic rings. That is a lot of an attribute difference you're creating. And as you guys will know, it will pay off technically the Eye of the Horus skill here, which could be Napoleon's skill. So really, really cool, I'll be honest, this little synergy that you've got here with options in game. And then to kind of finish it off, she has, and I'm going to be honest, the same issues as the Henry skills. And this is why I think these are not going to be the full skills, and they're going to have something extra potentially that we can't see right now. And hopefully the devs give us some information on all of their skills, what they look like, what they do, so us content creators can give you that information just before it comes out, just to get everyone a bit more hyped for the very first Marshal marksman lineup. Because I'll be honest, if it's the same thing as before, I'm going to be running Strategies, Master's Gift, and War Tactic. That's just going to be me, guys. And it just seems more logical if this is the actual skills, increasing my chance now, again, by 15%. So that is going to be a 35% activation chance on this skill, which is pretty darn good, instead of having only a 20% of chance. And then we're having the healing from her, or the Napoleon, and the Henry, right, in this regard. So it is going to be interesting on what these skills might be, because part of me wants to see it. I don't think this is the way the devs are going to go. And I know it's crazy that I've gone through all of that, and I've done that on purpose because a lot of people think that, and I understand why, and that's why I've made that. But part of me wants to say, if this is the hero that we're putting them together, maybe active can be a thing. But what if they change the Marshal marksman to be secondary strike? And if they're secondary strike, that means they're going to have different skill options, different skills to run. The commander skills could be completely different, especially for someone like Napoleon, maybe. I don't know, right? I really don't know. It's going to be super interesting to see either way what the devs do. Are they going to repackage Hasmaput and make it a lot more easier? Are they keeping Henry as they've got here? Or are they going to change him maybe for a different hero in the future? It's all up to you guys. But again, these are the brand new Marshal kind of marksmen coming into the game through Napoleon and through Henry V. And that is the best info on the skills and the theory crafting that all of the community have got right now in game about these two heroes. So if you enjoyed the video today, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe, guys. It's been a pleasure. Don't worry, we are going to be making a bunch of new guides, a bunch of tier lists, all of that jazz on their way. And I will be mentioning that in a few other videos, more in the intro, so you guys will know too. So keep an eye out for it. It is on its way. But hopefully, when you do, smash like, comment, and subscribe so you get that notification bells when those videos come out. So until the next one, guys, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. Peace out.